It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Bronislaw, my wife of 15 years, began acting differently. We lived a comfortable life in Chicago. I worked as an IT specialist, a job that kept me busy but also provided a good living. Bronislaw was a freelance graphic designer, working from home, which gave her a flexible schedule. Our life wasn't perfect, but it was ours, built on what I believed was a solid foundation of love and mutual respect. I was 46. The first sign was the phone calls. Whispered conversations in the hallway late at night, always ending abruptly when I approached. "Just work," she'd say, her eyes darting away from mine. Then came the increased focus on her appearance. New clothes, a different perfume, more time spent at the gym. I chalked it up to her wanting to feel good about herself, but a nagging feeling persisted. Then she announced she was going on a yoga retreat, a week-long trip to a secluded resort in Wisconsin. "It's for my well-being, Marius," she said, her voice laced with a new kind of urgency. "I need this." I didn't want her to go. Something felt wrong, but I suppressed my unease. I trusted her, or at least I wanted to. "Okay," I said, forcing a smile. "Enjoy your retreat." But the feeling wouldn't go away. It gnawed at me, a relentless, insidious suspicion. The thought of her alone, away from me, filled me with a dread I couldn't explain. I tried to dismiss it, to tell myself I was being paranoid, but the seed of doubt had been planted and it was growing rapidly. 3 days into her retreat, I couldn't take it anymore. I called the resort, pretending to be a relative needing to reach her urgently. "I'm sorry, sir," the receptionist said. "We don't have anyone registered under that name." My blood ran cold. She had lied. But why? Where was she if not at the yoga retreat? The questions swirled in my mind, each one more terrifying than the last. I felt sick, betrayed in a way I never thought possible. I decided I needed to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be. I had to find her. I started by checking her email. I knew it was a violation of privacy, but I was desperate. After a few failed attempts, I guessed her password, our anniversary date. There it was, buried in her inbox, a string of emails with a man named Alaric. The messages were explicit, passionate, and filled with promises of a weekend getaway. The resort she had mentioned wasn't in Wisconsin. It was a small, secluded cabin in Michigan. They had been planning this for weeks. The rage that surged through me was unlike anything I had ever experienced. It was a white-hot fury, consuming me entirely. I wanted to scream, to break things, to lash out at the world. But beneath the anger was a profound sense of sadness, a deep and aching heartbreak. The woman I loved, the woman I had shared my life with, had betrayed me in the most devastating way imaginable. I printed out the emails, my hands shaking. I needed proof, something tangible to hold onto when I confronted her. Then I did something I never thought I was capable of. I decided to follow her. I packed a bag, got in my car, and drove to Michigan. The drive was a blur. My mind raced, replaying memories of our life together, searching for clues I had missed, signs of her unhappiness. Had I been blind? Had I been so caught up in my own world that I hadn't noticed her drifting away? The questions haunted me, each one a fresh wound. I arrived at the cabin late in the afternoon. It was even more secluded than I had imagined, nestled deep in the woods, far from any other buildings. I parked my car a short distance away, hidden behind a thicket of trees. I waited, my heart pounding in my chest. Hours passed. The sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the landscape. Just as I was about to give up, a car pulled into the driveway. Bronislaw stepped out, followed by Alaric. He was tall, athletic, with a confident swagger that made my blood boil. They laughed, holding hands as they walked towards the cabin. I watched them, paralyzed by a mixture of anger and disbelief. This was it. The moment of truth. The moment my world shattered. I couldn't stay hidden any longer. I had to confront them, to demand an explanation, to understand how she could do this to me. I walked towards the cabin, my footsteps heavy on the gravel path. They didn't see me at first. They were too engrossed in each other, their faces lit by the warm glow of the cabin lights. As I got closer, I cleared my throat. They turned, their faces registering shock and then panic. "Marius," Bronislaw gasped, her eyes wide with fear. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same question," I said, my voice trembling with barely suppressed rage. "What is this, Bronislaw? Who is this man?" "Marius, please let me explain," she pleaded, taking a step towards me. "Explain. Explain what? That you've been lying to me for weeks, that you've been having an affair behind my back, that you've destroyed everything we've built together. Alaric stepped forward, placing a protective arm around Bronislaw. Look, buddy, this is between us, he said, his voice dripping with arrogance. Why don't you just leave between you? I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. This is my wife you're talking about. This is my life you've both been playing with. Marius, it's not what you think, Bronislaw said, her voice barely a whisper. Oh, really? Because it looks pretty damn clear to me. You lied to me, you cheated on me, and now you expect me to believe it's not what I think. I pulled out the printed emails, shoving them in her face. Explain these, then. Explain how this is all just a big misunderstanding. She didn't say anything. She just stared at the emails, her face pale with shame. Alaric, sensing the shift in power, took a step back, distancing himself from her. I don't know what to say, she stammered, tears streaming down her face. Say something, Bronislaw, say anything. Tell me why you did this. Tell me why you threw away everything we had. I was unhappy, Marius, she said, her voice breaking. I felt like we were just going through the motions. I needed something more, something exciting. Exciting? You call this exciting? Hurting me, betraying me, destroying our marriage. Is that what you call exciting? I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice laced with false sincerity. But you did, Bronislaw. You hurt me more than you can possibly imagine. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I realized I didn't recognize her anymore. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by a stranger who was capable of such profound betrayal. I'm leaving, I said, turning away from her. I'm filing for divorce. I can't stay with you after this. Marius, please don't do this, she begged, reaching out to me. I pulled away, unable to bear her touch. It's too late, Bronislaw. You made your choice. I walked back to my car, leaving her standing there with Alaric. I didn't look back. I couldn't. The pain was too intense, the betrayal too deep. The drive back to Chicago was even worse than the drive to Michigan. The reality of what had happened began to sink in. My marriage was over. My life was irrevocably changed. I had lost the woman I loved, and I had no idea how to move on. I spent the next few weeks in a daze. I went through the motions of daily life, but I felt like a ghost detached from everything around me. I hired a lawyer and filed for divorce. Bronislaw didn't contest it. She seemed resigned to the fact that our marriage was over. I learned later that her affair with Alaric didn't last long. He was a serial cheater, moving from one woman to the next, leaving a trail of broken hearts in his wake. Bronislaw was just another conquest, another notch on his belt. When she realized this, she was devastated. She tried to contact me to apologize, to beg me to take her back. But I couldn't. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. I couldn't forgive her for what she had done. The pain was too deep, the betrayal too profound. I moved on with my life, slowly but surely. I focused on my work, spent time with friends and family, and tried to rebuild my shattered heart. It wasn't easy, but I was determined to find happiness again. One evening, a few months after the divorce was finalized, I received a phone call from an unknown number. I hesitated before answering it. Hello, I said. Marius, it's Alaric's wife, Scene, a woman's voice said on the other end. I was taken aback. Scene, what do you want? I wanted to thank you, she said, for exposing Alaric and Bronislaw's affair. I had my suspicions, but I didn't have any proof. Your actions gave me the courage to leave him. I'm glad I could help, I said, feeling a small sense of satisfaction. He's a terrible man, Marius. He's hurt so many women. I hope he finally gets what he deserves. I hope so too, I said. We talked for a few more minutes, sharing our stories of betrayal and heartbreak. It was comforting to know that I wasn't alone, that there were others who had experienced the same pain. After the call, I felt a sense of closure, a sense that I was finally moving on. I had survived the betrayal, and I was stronger for it. I knew that I would never be the same, but I was determined to build a new life, a life filled with honesty, trust, and love. Years later, I met someone new, a wonderful woman named Attilia. She was kind, compassionate, and trustworthy. We built a relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. I learned to love again, to trust again, to open my heart again. Bronislaw, on the other hand, never remarried. She drifted from job to job, relationship to relationship, never finding lasting happiness. She became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the devastating consequences of betrayal. My story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's a story of heartbreak, but also a story of hope. It's a story of betrayal, but also a story of forgiveness. It's a story of loss, but also a story of new beginnings. And it's a story I hope will help others who have experienced the pain of infidelity to find the strength to move on and rebuild their lives. So, if you're reading this and you're going through a similar situation, know that you're not alone. It's okay to feel angry, sad, and confused. It's okay to grieve the loss of your relationship. But don't let the betrayal define you. Don't let it consume you. Find the strength within yourself to move on, to heal, and to create a new life filled with happiness and love. You deserve it. Remember, this cheating story actually happened, and if I can survive it, so can you. This is my surviving infidelity story, and I hope it inspires you to write your own. In the end, Bronislaw's yoga retreat was a lie, a facade that crumbled to reveal a devastating betrayal. But from the ashes of that betrayal, I emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined to live a life of authenticity and love. And that, I believe, is the greatest revenge of all. It was my path from Reddit cheating to a new life, and I'm grateful for the journey, even with its pain. My Reddit marriage may have failed, but I didn't. I survived. I thrived. Summary. Marius, an IT specialist in Chicago, discovers his wife Bronislaw's yoga retreat is a lie. He uncovers an affair with a man named Alaric through incriminating emails. Following her to a secluded cabin in Michigan, he confronts them, leading to a painful admission of unhappiness and the end of their 15-year marriage. The divorce is finalized, and Marius learns Alaric is a serial cheater. A call from Alaric's wife, seen, offers a sense of closure and gratitude for exposing the affair. Marius eventually finds love again with Attilia, while Bronislaw never finds lasting happiness. Marius's story becomes a testament to resilience, forgiveness, and the possibility of new beginnings after devastating betrayal. He hopes his experience inspires others facing infidelity to find strength, heal, and rebuild their lives, proving that surviving infidelity is possible. This cheating story actually happened, and it's a surviving infidelity story. To anyone who has experienced the pain of betrayal, know that you are not alone. Find your strength, rebuild your life, and never let the darkness of infidelity define you. You deserve happiness, and it is within your reach. Keep moving forward, and remember, you are stronger than you think.